Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be what the masks of the narcissist can't hide. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So the masks of the narcissist, yes, plural, there are many, way more than you even know. They can't hide everything. You see, the narcissist is always on the go. They're always on the prowl. They're always looking for new things. They're looking for next new shiny objects. They're looking for new relationships to enter, for old relationships to break, and to try to trap people that haven't healed yet. The narcissist is on a constant search for supply. Supply, again, for those of you who may not know what it is, it's anything that matters to the narcissist. It could be attention, adoration, money, time. Could be an airplane ticket, it could be a phone call, could be a package, it could be being hung up on, it could be being triangulated at a restaurant, or anything in between. The narcissist has a bottomless pit within them. And this bottomless pit can never be filled for any length of time, because as soon as it is filled, then the narcissist has to look elsewhere for the next new objective, the next new target, the next new mask to wear. Now notice in the beginning of the video, I didn't say the mask that the narcissist can't hide. It's masks, plural. When you were in the relationship with them, first of all, you didn't know what narcissism was because you weren't taught this in school. Second of all, you didn't know that anybody could wear a mask other than for a masquerade party or ballroom event or Halloween. Third of all, you saw many different masks of the person you are considering. You saw them when they appeared to be super jubilant and happy and excited. It's probably when you proposed to them, or it's when you gave them a fancy car, or it's when you took them on a trip or planned for the trip, although that trip was blown up. And the car, I'm sure you had to upgrade next year, and whatever else you did, it would never be enough. But those were one mask. That was one mask you saw. Another mask you saw with them was when they would be belligerent, and they would be toxic, and they would be slamming cabinet doors, or walking 30 feet in front of you, or appearing single when they were married to you, or hanging up the phone on you, or verbally abusing you, or future faking you, or gaslighting you, or stonewalling you, or, for this video, giving you the silent treatment. Yes, the silent treatment. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's when a toxic person is choosing, deliberately and intentionally, to not communicate with another person, although they easily may be communicating with other people in the same household, or other people just regularly, or as regular as it could be for the narcissist. When you're getting the silent treatment and you don't know that a narcissist is such a thing, in other words, they exist, you will do anything you possibly can do to break that silence. You can take it for in the beginning of the silent treatment, when these are early days when you don't even know what it is. Maybe you're being given the silent treatment for 20 minutes. Maybe it's 30 minutes, or maybe it's an hour, and you're thinking, oh, that person, maybe they're just having a bad day, or maybe they just got bad news or a bad email, or something happened at work, and so you give them a pass. And then what happens? Inevitably, you went back to that person and said, hey, are you okay? Is everything good? Can I do something for you, or do you want to talk about it? And then their eyes will swell up with supply. Their pupils turn pitch black, and they're like, yep, got another one right here on the hook. And then they'll shake it off, and they'll say, no, I'm fine. Well, it's no big thing, nothing. Let's just move on. I don't want to talk about it. And then you and they will continue to go on. But that was a test you were being given. That was a test in their tiny little brain that you had passed, and that was a test of how much you would tolerate. The silent treatment, again, let's say in the future, after that little period, maybe the silent treatment went on for 4 or 5 hours, but you were becoming accustomed to it. So as you were becoming accustomed to it, you were teaching yourself, or the narcissist was teaching you, that give them a little more time and they'll come around. Well, that happened. But again, you broke the ice, I can assure you. Then that silent treatment turned into a half a day, which probably turned into a day, and then maybe a weekend or longer. And this is when the toxicity was being really ramped up. This is when you were really, and I mean really, being peppered with abuse. This is when you were caught up in the trauma bond. This is when you were being devalued more and more. This is most likely when the narcissist was already grooming another source of supply. And this is when they had a live-in person in the household, if you lived with them, that they could pepper with abuse in the 4 walls of that house, and nobody, and I mean nobody, would know that they were doing it other than you, but you didn't know what narcissism was. So essentially, not being graphic, but it's true, essentially what the narcissist was doing was feeding off of you. They were feeding off of your energy. They were feeding off of your emotions. They were feeding off your blaming yourself. They were feeding off of you going back to them and trying to fix whatever they were trying to break. And as this happened more and more and more, the narcissist became very, very powerful. And the more powerful they became, the more you wanted to be with them. The more you wanted to be with them and talk with them and communicate with them, the more they were likely to give you the silent treatment, or not even communicate with you at all, or disappear and go away on alleged girls' weekends or guys' weekend, or they would be late at work, or they would claim they had a flat tire, or they were stuck in traffic, or their cell phone service didn't work, or their battery ran out, or they didn't have a charger. They would make up so many excuses. Why would they do that? Well, because they knew you were at home, or they knew you were somewhere where you were supposed to be, and you were paying attention to them, wanting to help them, wondering where they are, who they're with, what they're doing. Should you be there for them? Could you be there for them? Again, you didn't know what narcissism was, so you were vulnerable, you were naive, you were trusting, and you were committed to a toxic parasite who was feeding off of you every single second of that period of time. And as that went on, the narcissist began to wear more masks. More masks, not only with you, but with other people, with your friends, your colleagues, your neighbors, your coworkers, business associates, your kids or stepkids, and everybody in between. And what they were doing is they were searching for the next new replacement, the next new supply, your replacement. And they're also searching for other side supply sources. Example, a gym buddy, maybe even a trainer, a bike riding partner who turned out to be 10 years younger than you, and they were getting a little too close to the narcissist. Or somebody who they could watch movies with, even though they didn't like to watch movies with you. Or someone to attend an event, even though they claim they never liked those events. Whatever they were doing, they were already reshaping who they were. See, they were creating a new mask, because the mask that they were showing you, it was getting stale, it was getting cumbersome, it was getting boring. They were becoming jaded. They didn't want to have to wear that mask any longer. It wasn't exciting, it wasn't alluring, because you were so beaten down in that zombie-like, trance-like state, which is the narcissistic fog. And you were trapped. You didn't even know how you got there. How you got there is because that person knew what they were doing. They had done it before they met you. They did it with you. Now, if they're still living, they're doing it wherever they are, gallivanting the globe. You see, these people are shapeshifters. What they want is they want to get a person. They want to mold that person into whatever they want at any particular period of time. Then they want to extract whatever they can from that person. Maybe it's time, maybe it's money, maybe it's emotions, maybe it is a house, maybe it's a car, maybe it's access to a property, maybe it's a job, maybe it's a business. I can't tell you what it is. But if the narcissist was communicating with you, whether you were friends or you thought you were, married, even though you may have walked down the aisle, that wasn't a marriage in their eyes. In your eyes it was, because in my eyes it was as well. Or any other relationship you had with them, they were doing something to benefit themselves to the detriment of you. And these people, i.e. the narcissists, the toxic people, they learn this at a young age. They learn it very quickly, that the rules don't apply to them, and they can do whatever they want to do, because there'll be no consequences to pay. And you may say, well, why is that? Didn't they have a proper upbringing? Well, maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. But I can assure you one thing. One of their parents, if not both, either didn't have boundaries or treated that person you're considering as a golden child, which means they could do no wrong, or treated them differently. Maybe they were the scapegoat. And then the narcissist learned, hey, when they were younger, they said, I'm not dealing with this any longer. I see my brother or sister being treated like the golden child. I'm going to turn to the dark side, and I'm going to get what's coming to me. Who knows how these people become who they become? And I have my own thoughts, which I'm not going to share in this video. But they become dark energy. And that dark energy can never, and I mean never, leave their existence, their aura, their energy field. That's why they need to wear masks. The narcissist can run, but they can't hide. As I shared in yesterday's video and videos recently, the narcissist can't hide from the truth. They can't hide from the destruction that they've created. They can't hide from all the relationships they've broken. They can't hide from all the broken hearts that they destroyed, all the hopes and dreams and aspirations that they ruined. They can't hide from all the ideas that they stole from people. They can't hide from all the money they stole and hid, meaning assets. Maybe it's crypto, maybe it's gold, maybe it's silver, maybe it's paper money, maybe it's properties, maybe it's a 401k. I don't know what it is, but the narcissist hides money. They steal people's money. They steal people's time. They steal people's energy. And what they want to do is wear a new mask. Once they collect whatever they can from the former target, get a new target. Maybe that target is a longer period of time they're with, or maybe it's a shorter period. I can't tell you. and they want to recreate themselves. And of course, they want to paint the past the way they want to paint it, which I'll touch on for a moment here. All the people that the narcissist told you that they had been friends with or romantic relationships with, or their parents or siblings or friends, whomever they were, classmates from the past, I can assure you, you have not met more than 1/10 of 1% of those people, probably even a lot less, because many of those people didn't exist. Yes, they didn't. You may have thought they existed, but did you ever meet them? No, you didn't. And now that you know that you can't trust the narcissist, you have to take anything that they ever said with a grain of salt, because they speak out of both sides of their mouth and they can't remember their lies. You need to remember also that they can say whatever they want to people that A, never existed. They can say whatever they want to about people that A, never existed, B, that aren't living any longer, or C, that were discarded or haven't been in their life in a long time, and there's no trail to get back to those people. This is why the narcissist appears to glide through life so effortlessly. This is why they appear to always land on their feet. This is why they appear to always have a line of people that they call pretty, pretty boys or pretty, pretty girls lined up to help them out. And that's a verse from a song from the 70s. You could probably research and figure it out. They got a lot of pretty, pretty friends that they call something. You get my point. Having said that, this is why the narcissist appears that way. But what they're actually doing is they're creating an illusion for people to believe. The narcissists themselves is shallow, they're empty, they're filled with anxiety, they're riddled with complications, they're riddled with always looking over their shoulder. They want to dump the toxicity somewhere, and they can't regulate themselves. So what do? They dump that toxicity into anybody who is too close to them. And many times that's the immediate family, many times it's the kids, definitely it's the spouse, and maybe it's their siblings or the coworkers or colleagues, or people in traffic, or on planes, or the wait staff, or people when you're trying to book airline reservations, and they can have somebody get on the phone and they can make the flight arrangements and then change them and then blame the person who's on the other end of the call at a call center. This is what the narcissist does. They need attention. They need to be cuddled or coddled. They need to matter. They need to feel important, because all of the anxiety that runs through their veins, all of the echoes of the past, the ghosts, the demons, if you will, that live within them, they need to go somewhere, and they can't go anywhere other than in the people that the narcissist surrounds themselves with. Again, I'll share this. Remember, the narcissist has supplies. Some supply sources are once a week, maybe the barista at the coffee shop. Some supply sources are maybe once a month. Maybe it is a therapist the narcissist is seeing, although good luck with that. Maybe it is the spouse who the narcissist is living with, and that's built-in supply. Maybe it's their own kids. Maybe it's their siblings. I'm talking about the narcissist siblings who are adults, and they see them 2, 3, 4 times a year. Maybe it's the parents of the narcissist, and that's a whole different video series. Many times the narcissist is either estranged from their parents for certain reasons, or they're a little too close. Read between the lines there. I'm unpacking a lot of information for you to let you know that all the masks that the narcissist wears or utilizes or uses or creates, all it means is they're shape-shifting, and they're trying to get through this thing called life because they want to destroy, because all those demons in their mind keep playing the same script running around, which are words like these. I am weak. I am shallow. I am not who I claim to be. I need to hide again. I need to steal someone's ideas. I need to steal someone's hopes. I need to destroy this relationship. I need to intervene and make sure my sister doesn't do better than I do. I need to make sure I blow up my spouse's business. I need to make up drama and create confusion. And I need to call the authorities and the legal systems and create something out of thin air to get the onus or the magnifying glass off of me and onto my spouse. This is what the narcissist does. And you may think, well, who in the right mind would do that? Well, if you don't have that answer, then you most likely haven't been in a narcissistic relationship, or you're just figuring it out. You see, your average human being can't fathom what I just said there. They think that that's something made up, or it's something from a movie or a sitcom or a miniseries, or it's something from some Hollywood writer. Well, I'll say it, and I'll say it again. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Movies are great. Sitcoms, the whole thing, I understand it. If you like them, great. If you don't, it's fine. But those are people writing, using their imagination. This is your life, and I can assure you, your life the Hollywood movies can't hold a candle to your life, meaning one day in your life, the things you saw, the things you experienced in the surreal events that took place, You could write your own script, and probably a week of your life would be the best movie of all time. Again, this is why the narcissist isolates people. This is why they wear multiple masks. This is why they infiltrate people's lives under the disguise of caring, of loving them or being in love with them and being committed and walking down the aisle and getting married and raising kids or having kids and all these things. But once the dust settles and the narcissist gets jaded or bored, or once they find a better source of supply, because they're always looking for something better. They're always looking for the pastures to be greener on the other side. And they never are for the narcissist, no matter what you think they're not. They are not. But once they get settled into a relationship, it's not fun for them any longer because it's boring. They become complacent and they have to look elsewhere to fill that huge void within them, which is why they need to create or recreate another mask that you had never seen before. This is why post-relationship, after you've healed or as you're healing, there will be times, and I hope that this hasn't been you, but it quite possibly may have been. Maybe somebody told you, maybe a year later, 2 years later, I don't know when, maybe 10 years later. Oh yeah, remember you were in that relationship with so-and-so, whoever that was? You're like, yeah, that was a long time ago. Well, you should see how they look now. They look really decrepit. They look really old. They look aged. And their hair color is different, and they've gained weight or lost weight, and their face is saggy or drooping, or they're wearing clothes from 30 years ago, or they're kind of something's off with them. There's your narcissist right there. Now, I'm not saying that anybody who ages or gains weight or loses weight, then it's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is these people can only try to outrun Father Time. They can only try to wear a new mask today, tomorrow, and the next day. But eventually everything catches up with them, and their house of cards becomes nothing but crumbled dreams, broken promises, and a desolate life. For whom? That's right, for the narcissist. Because the aging narcissist is not only not a pretty sight to see, but these people are real. And there are more and more of them on the planet than you would ever, and I mean ever, expect. Again, not for this video. I want to share this before I close it. The narcissist didn't just wear one mask with you. You may have thought they did. They wore multiple masks with you. They also wore multiple masks with other people, because you need to remember the narcissist performs for an audience, and sometimes that audience is an audience of one. Sometimes it's an audience of two. Sometimes the audience is more people, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. At a wedding, let's say that you're attending a wedding and there's 300 people there, and that's a big wedding. Well, they're going to perform for an audience of 300, and they know the time frame. They know what mask to wear. They know how to get the attention. They know how to disrupt the wedding or the event, and they know how to get people's eyes on them. That's all the narcissist cares about, because around each and every corner, as each and every new day arises, you're healing, getting stronger, and breaking the chains and the ties from the narcissist, and you're elevating and ascending. What is the narcissist doing? They're having a look in that mirror with their saggy eyes, their baggy eyes, their bloodshot eyes, in that flea bag infested motel with the box TV that doesn't even work any longer, their cell phone battery less than 5%, not having income coming in. They have a car with 3 tires because one has a flat, but they're still going to ride it to the gas station and try and charm their way into having somebody change that tire for them. And they're going to have to figure out how to wear a new mask for that day. That's what these people do. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You're not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I came out here by the old work shed back there because I wanted to show you it, because in 2 and 3 days, or 4 days, whatever it is, this Friday, it's Halloween. And you know what that means? That's right. On top of that, it's the fall, the end of the fall. We're almost in the winter season, and it's getting chilly here, and the leaves are turning, but the pine trees are still here, and the abundance is still all around me, and I'm sure it's around you. I just want to let you know. That's so amazing. I want to let you know, if where you are right now is where you want to be, stay there. Continue to keep your cup full. If where you are right now is not where you want to be, there's work to be done. If you're not where you want to be, you need to remember, I was once where you are, and I worked every single minute of my life to get to where I am, which is an abundant place, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and here in the nature. And if you are where you want to be, make sure you do your best every single day to practice gratitude, to stay there, and to live a toxic-free life. I love you all. God bless you. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. I loved it. And I love this weather. Bye.